Multiple oil tankers left Russia for America after Joe Biden banned Russian oil. It's almost as if they lie to you, the people who told you there would be no vaccine mandates. Well, if you believe the Biden administration at this point, then I have a bridge in Alaska to sell you. Same thing. According to ABC News, 70% of Americans disapprove of Joe Biden's handling of the gas prices. This ain't good. Americans overwhelmingly support Biden's ban on Russian oil, which, by the way, was a lie. According to tankertracker.com, multiple oil tankers left Russia for America after Joe Biden banned Russian oil. It's almost as if they lie to you, the people who told you there would be no vaccine mandates. Well, if you believe the Biden administration at this point, then I have a bridge in Alaska to sell you. General inflation in particular is very, very bad. Americans roundly disapprove of Joe Biden's handling of the economy. Well, here we go. Over the past several months, Americans' wallets have been hit by skyrocketing inflation, and now Biden is feeling the crunch in his approval numbers. 70% of Americans disapprove of his handling of inflation. Brutal. You can't win with those numbers. In Biden's defense, he says it's Putin's fault. Yes, it's Vladimir Putin's fault. This is why I love the interviews like the ones with the Keystone Pipeline workers. You guys, don't allow them to lie to you. It's why we're going to keep hitting this issue and hitting this issue and hitting this issue. They're trying to lie to you, and they think that because they come up with fancy little slogans called Putin's price hike or don't say gay, and then those slogans are repeated ad nauseum by the corporate press, as though the corporate press were literally on the dole for the Democratic Party. Oh, wait, they actually legitimately are. When we say CNN is the PR wing of the Democratic Party, what we mean is that as a PR wing, so we have a show, right? We reach millions and millions of people a week in our show. A brand or someone will come to us and will try to sell us, something, a widget. To say a brand's slogan, right? To say a brand's slogan is how podcasters or people make money. You run an ad. You would run an ad. We're very proud of our partnerships here with Birch Gold as a partner, Right Forge as a partner, the Right Forge free speech mic. We love our partnerships here. Our partnerships and how every podcast and every advertiser, whether it be Newsmax or anyone with media does business, is you repeat the slogans or you repeat or talk about the product to your audience. So as it pertains to Democrat politics, the product is what they're trying to sell America. The talking points is Putin's price hike or don't say gay. And the corporate press just repeat the product again and again and again and again. It's called advertising. Except for this time, they're advertising for a political party. And then they attack Republicans. That's also doing the job of their advertisers and their sponsors. You have to see it like that. That's how we say the corporate press is broken. That's why we're so proud of the millions of people that we reach every single week. And God bless all of you. We are going to build a beautiful new world together. We will do it. We will save America. And you're not alone, because 70% of the people, according to ABC News here, 70% of the people in an ABC News Ipsos data poll say that they disapprove of Biden's handling on gas prices. And 77, though even more respondents, 77%, support his ban of Russian oil. Regarding the banning of oil imports, 88% of Democrats, 72% of Republicans, and 78% of independents support the notion. Well, it sounds like that would be a broad consensus with your own party to start drilling for oil here, to start giving those guys their jobs back. But instead, Joe Biden has this to say to the American people about what his plans are as it pertains to oil imports and Russia and Putin. Remember, this is the guy who told you that he would take all the blame when he became president and that the buck stops with me. I can't believe I have to say this, ladies and gentlemen. I can't believe I have to say this, but bibbity boo, bibbity bop, build back, Putin pooty poo. Here's Joe Biden this weekend.
Never forget what we've accomplished together so far. And by the way, the American people just trying to stay above water don't understand this. You tell them what the American Recovery Act was, they look at you like, what are you talking about?
Joe Biden saying that the American people, they don't understand what we're talking about. They just don't get it. These 70%, 80% of my own party, according to this ABC News poll, they just don't get it. 88% of my party that wants to ban Russian oil imports, they're just stupid. They just deserve to be talked to the way that Kamala Harris talks to people. Ukraine is a smaller country, and Russia is a bigger country. And so the bigger country is a mini head to the smaller country. And naughty. Oh, naughty Russia. We say naughty Russia. Oh, they're so incompetent. It's why we're really happy to see Donald Trump essentially say that, not essentially, he literally quoting, saying that Joe Biden is physically and mentally challenged and his administration is in collapse. He's exactly right. Here's Donald Trump from this weekend saying that our country is led by mentally challenged people. Damn it. Donald Trump. Correct. Go.
Just thought it couldn't get worse, any worse than that. I think that was frankly the lowest point in the history of our country, in my opinion. Joe Biden failed to deter Russia's outrageous invasion of Ukraine. You could take the 5 worst presidents in American history and put them together, and they would not have done the damage Joe Biden has done in just 13 months. We have a president representing our country at the most important time in history who is physically and mentally challenged. The Russian invasion of Ukraine is a terrible atrocity that should never have been allowed to happen. It would have never happened.
Okay, find the lie, right? Find the lie. We have a president representing our country. The most important time in history is physically and mentally challenged. He's not wrong, because right now the forces that collapse civilization are upon America. Inflation, hyperinflation. Go ahead and ask the Germans, right, about hyperinflation, or the Venezuelans, or any country about hyperinflation. Go ask the Brits about hyperinflation. Led to the collapse of their empire. Inflation is an empire killer. That's the number one major problem. The lack of energy, the incapacity to be able to provide for yourself and be energy independent and independent as a nation, that's also affecting us. So you have inflation crisis, energy crisis, you have wartime crises, Afghanistan crisis, you have the Ukraine crisis. Are you done with crises yet? Well, they keep coming because our government keeps spending. Did you know that our federal government passed a 24% pay increase this weekend? That's right. 24% pay increase this weekend. We're going to do a special on it. We're going to go through the entire bill. But just to let you know, while you're paying $5 gasoline, while your inflation is at 8% year over year, which is a tax on you, it means your savings are worth less every single year, 8% less every single year. Your dollar is worth less every single year. This is why dollar stores are now $1.25 stores. Have you seen that? The Dollar Tree is now the $1.25 tree. Incredible. Inflation in real time, and inflation is simply this. This is it. People overcomplicate it. How much money is in the money supply? That will directly lead to inflation. There you go. We printed $7 trillion under Donald Trump and under Joe Biden, a lot of it under Biden, for no reason that we didn't have. And so when you create a lot more of something than when you create a lot more of something and there's no value tied to it, that decreases scarcity and that decreases the value of that thing. I use the example of my daughter's bunnies. My daughter has a lot of fluffy bunnies. They're all over the house. They're not as important to her as her favorite little lovey. She has one of them, and so it's very valuable. It goes with her everywhere. She has a million little stuffed bunnies for some reason, and they're everywhere, and they're in the dirt, and they're in the mud, and she just doesn't care about them. My 1-year-old understands inflation more than Joe Biden. They have approximately the same amount of brainwaves going on. Donald Trump, not very happy with the way the war is going, quite frankly. Donald Trump said this about our generals this weekend.
The woke generals should be fired immediately. We want our generals to think about winning wars, not to teach pronouns.
If you ever wondered what it would be like when the dumbest people run our country, go ahead and have a look. Just look around. This is what happens when the stupid people run the country. Donald Trump saying he wants our generals to focus on winning wars and not teaching pronouns. This is an existential crisis for the country. Inflation is a crisis. The amount of money supply is a crisis. The petrodollar is a crisis. You're seeing reports today that India is going to start trading in oil in rupees and rubles directly with Russia at a discounted price. That ain't very good. India's figuring out how to get off the dollar. So is China. So is Russia. And what will that mean for you? Well, that means that the $7 trillion just created during COVID will be a nation killer. That's what it means. Another nation killer is when your country can't defend itself. That we have learned throughout history, and our generals cannot defend ourselves. They make a laughingstock of America. They're currently, right across the state here in Florida, a destroyer that cannot launch from its port because the commanding officer refuses to get the COVID-19 vaccine. What is that saying to our enemies? That our military has been hollowed out to a perfunctory, woke, first-year community college gender studies course. That's all it is. That our military is simply a social experiment. And once your military becomes a social experiment and not a lethal, deadly force ready to kill, well, then your nation is over. That's what it says to our enemies. So does the Afghanistan withdrawal. Donald Trump is correct. Our generals want to think about winning wars. We want generals who think about winning wars and not teaching pronouns. Hello? Yes, that's right. And by the way, have you ever checked in on who fights in the military? Have you ever checked in on who actually is a part of the military? Young men, black, Latino, white, from middle class or lower middle class families. I mean, I'm not trying to pigeonhole anyone, but you can go ahead and check out the demographics of the people who fight on the front lines in our wars, and that's about 99% of them. So what do you got there? Do you think you have a bunch of woke Oberlin college feminist lesbian basket weavers there? No, you actually don't. You get NASCAR people. It's NASCAR people who chew. Do you have friends in the military? I promise you, the people who write for the New York Times and the people who write for the Washington Post and the people who work at CNN do not have friends in the military. They don't know a single person who drives a pickup truck. Those people do not know anyone who drives a truck. They've never met a person who their regular shopping experience includes Walmart and Target. My family certainly does. I've got to drag my wife out of the Joanna Gaines section at Target. That is where virtually everything in my household comes from. But your elites, and specifically your corporate metropolitan elites, have no idea. They don't understand. And guess who makes up the general leadership of our military? Our metropolitan elites. And guess who?
Thank you for watching. We are 100% independent news. Are you sick of being lied to? We certainly are. That's why we started this channel. But we can't do it without you. We can't keep going without your help. All we ask is that you click like and subscribe and share this video. It's free. And it keeps us going, it keeps us growing, and it keeps us getting the truth out there to break the rotted corporate media infrastructure that wants to lie to you every single day, wants to corrupt your narratives, your truth, your story, and your very society. So support us by clicking like, clicking subscribe, and thank you, Patriots.